Okay, I am back again, and there's a house in front of me, which I'll show you in a minute. It's called the Elkhorn Tavern. There it is right there. Okay, and if I swing around over here, there's my trusty steed bicycle. If I swing around over here, you can kind of see that cannon in the distance, and then all the split rail fencing you can kind of see in this area. So this is the area I'm in, and there in the distance are those two white memorials that I was just talking about. And I guess this is an oak tree, but isn't that amazing? Just waiting to leaf out. You know, it's early. It's almost spring. It's cold. I still feel the wind chill. I'm guessing it's like a 25-degree wind chill, maybe. And my hands, I still need to put pretty heavy gloves on. Anyway, let me just read what this sign says, and then I'll walk over to the house. It says, "Lifeline for two armies." Okay, and this is the sign I'm looking at. And it says, there's a map. There's Pea Ridge there. Here's the Missouri border. We actually live right here in Bella Vista. And then here's Missouri. So Kansas City would be up this area. And St. Louis is over here. Illinois is here. And then you got Tennessee here. The Mississippi River running along here. Right? I think that's right. And then, so Missouri, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, Pea Ridge, where I'm at today. St. Louis is up here. Okay. So it says, I'll just read it. It says, let's see. It says, Elkhorn Tavern overlooks a highway of vital importance for Arkansas, Missouri during the Civil War. Union and Confederate leaders both wanted this 20-foot wide dirt road to move men and supplies. Alongside the road ran 3-year-old telegraph wires, the latest way to send information far and fast. In the week before battle broke out here, both armies had hurriedly marched southward past this crossroads and tavern. The night before the shooting started, Union troops from Missouri set up a small rear guard outpost here. The soldiers had stockpiled food in the barn and tavern. Provost guards watched a handful of captured Confederates nearby. And then just this little thing here, it says, first built in the 1820s as a military road to link St. Louis, Missouri to Fort Smith, Arkansas. This highway served as the northern route of the Trail of Tears during the Indian removals in 1837 to 1839. It was known as the Butterfield Overland Stage Route from 1858 to 1861. Civil War troops call it the Wire Road or the Telegraph Road. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. I had heard about the Butterfield Stage before, and of course I know about the Trail of Tears. My wife has a great-grandmother, and she's Cherokee. So she's got some Cherokee blood. I keep telling her she should try to get reparations from Joe Biden, but she laughs me off. But I'm serious. I think she should go for it. Maybe send all of our kids to college for free. Of course, it needs to be a good college, that doesn't push propaganda on the children, but lets them think, independently. So anyway, here's the house, the tavern. Look at the antlers. They're swinging in the wind. They look like elk horns up there. Oh, well, hey, it's the Elkhorn Tavern. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So, and I'll just walk around here. Last time I was here with Sabrina, we looked in. It's probably too dark for you guys to see it, but if you look in there, there's like they got it all set up, but you can't go in there. That's kind of cool. It's like a wheelchair ramp, but kind of done in a period way. Okay, so here you got this massive stone fireplace. Look at that thing. And then back behind here, again, it's interesting here. There's evergreens here. There's cedar. I want to say they're eastern cedar, but man, when I cut into them with my saw or axe or whatever, they have got the most aromatic scent of any cedar, way more than western cedar, which is what I'm used to in Oregon. But they kind of look like arborvitae, sort of. That's what they remind me of. But anyway, it's kind of what keeps things green here is the, you know, the evergreen stuff. And then you've got the deciduous oak and other hardwoods, hickory, oak, elm, black walnut, and other stuff. Trust me, I've been cutting. I can tell you which are the fun things to cut through and what's not so fun. So anyway, also another interesting thing. Oh, look, they've got those little balls, you know, that come off the trees. We used to throw these at each other when I was a kid. They really hurt when they're green. They really hurt when they're green. My brother can tell you that because I used to peg him with them. Yeah, we used to throw crab apples at each other in Montana. We used to take them off my my cousin or aunt's tree. Actually, it was my great grandma's tree in Big Timber. But man, I think, what would I do if my grandkids started taking all the fruit off my fruit trees? Man, I'd be so mad. Hey, this looks like a storm shelter. I wonder if Dorothy's family's down there. Auntie M, are you down there? Auntie M, let me in. Oh, the tornado's coming. Oh no, Auntie M. Look at this, another fireplace. Man, how'd you like to be the chimney sweep in charge of that? Or it's sure, I think Santa Claus, a fat Santa Claus could probably fit down that thing though. Look at that thing, it's massive. And look at these foundation stones. Isn't that cool? Sure different than the way they build foundations these days. But anyway, I just think this kind of stuff is just so intriguing to me. And then, you know, of course you got the cannons. You know, bear with me here. I know it's going to be a little bit of a walk, but the fun thing about, I'm walking over to the cannon so you can see that up close. The fun thing about being in artillery is I just enjoy the camaraderie of working with like a small unit of people, and you really get to know them well, and you're involved in this highly choreographed cycle that you go through of firing the cannon. It's actually, they're igniting black powder is what they're doing, because you know you don't want to kill anyone with a shrapnel or cannons bouncing across the ground taking legs off. But anyway, here is a cannon. Look at that thing. There is a Civil War cannon. So down here you crank that thing and get elevation, and so you know you'd control the height, and you know, you push these things, or the horses would pull them, and there you go. There's the cannon. That's where all the action happened. There's the killing machine right there, right out of that thing. Can you imagine being in a field and using Napoleonic tactics where you just line up in a line and you wait, and then these things just come exploding at you? And, you know, the guy next to you gets his head blown off or leg amputated, and you just hope to God that you're not the next one. I mean, it would just be horror upon horror. Can you imagine the shell shock? I mean, I went through kind of a shell shock just with some stuff that went down at the school I was at before I retired. But can you imagine the shell shock of having that thing aimed at you? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, I'm kind of coming to the end of this little tour. I wanted to make, you know, a really well done video, and I'll do that some other time, but it's like I couldn't wait to show you this awesome place. And there's other places like this throughout Arkansas and Missouri. So anyway, here's another sign. It says, "Vulnerable in victory. It was the fiery end of the best day of Earl Van Dorn's 20 years as a professional soldier. Bone tired from the jarring of a week-long ambulance ride and still feverish from pneumonia, the Confederate commander lay down here in the side yard of Elkhorn Tavern amid the wreckage." There's Elkhorn Tavern. So we're kind of right here in this perspective. "Amid the wreckage of the day's battle. Because he now controlled his enemy's sole supply line, General Van Dorn assumed he had the Battle of Elkhorn Tavern won. No one yet knew that the rebel wagons bearing food and ammunition for the next day's fight were hopelessly out of reach." Again, as those of you military know, if you don't get the supply train, The Army ain't moving. The Army what's the saying? The Army moves on its stomach. And then down here you got kind of what was going on. So March 7th, March 8th, and then midnight is when this was happening. So 1862. So these are Confederate soldiers in this painting. And this guy that looks like Custer. Kind of looks like Custer. He kind of looks like a Union guy because he's wearing blue, but apparently he's not. At midnight, 2 young Texans brought word to Confederate headquarters that Generals McAuliffe and McIntosh had been killed early in the Leetown fighting. Now, I was just over there, and those are 2 of the names on that tower, okay? They took orders back for their entire division to march through the night to rejoin Van Dorn here before sunup. So anyway, that's that. That's the Elkhorn Tavern situation. So anyway, I'm gonna get on my bike and get moving. I got like a quarter mile, a half a mile to go. I'm almost back to the parking lot. And if I'm there and I see the Union guys, because they're doing infantry training right now, including some of the guys I worked with last week in Oklahoma, maybe I'll just take a few pictures of them. But anyway, I'm heading back, and I'll give you another report here shortly.